Motive Radio vende espacios para realizaciones de programas en radio y televisión. El contenido en su totalidad pertenece a quien compra el espacio, como se ve en el siguiente programa. Por lo tanto, Motive Radio y JBS Marketing no se hacen responsables por el contenido de los mismos.
Well, good morning or good afternoon, wherever you're joining us. I am so excited. Today is going to be an English show. We're really grateful to God for this day. Thank you to everyone who's joining us through motiveradio.com. Thank you to definitely our mentors, Mr. John and Ms. Blanca Satures, for this space. Today's show is going to be very, very interesting. We're going to be talking about a topic that is really not really much spoken about, and I actually the story behind of how we connected is really interesting. I was in Vancouver, Canada, for a business meeting, and basically what happened was that the last day I had some free time and I wanted to go to downtown Vancouver, and basically I met this wonderful lady, Miss Klein, and Miss Florence Klein, she graciously agreed to take me to downtown and show me around the city. So then we started talking, and then she started telling me, like, the importance of reading The Secret and visualizing and having a list of things that you're grateful for and things that you want from life. And it was like an epiphany moment because, it kind of reaffirmed my beliefs. And we kept talking, and then I was like, she asked me, so what do you do? And I'm like, well, I have a coffee business. And then eventually I sent her coffee samples, but then we talked about the radio. I'm like, I'm starting a new radio show. It's called Arisel, and she was like really excited about it. She's like, well, my daughter is doing this project called the Unforgotten Ones. And I was like really, really excited. I'm like, oh, wow, so what is it about? And it's basically a program that she's telling stories of people who have had miscarriages or people who have lost a child. Obviously, this is a topic that is a taboo that not a lot of people talk about. I had a few friends who had miscarriages, but it's something that I'm not a mom. I have never had a miscarriage. So it's really hard to talk about it because you don't know what to say. And when talking to Miss Kimberlee, I saw her heart, her passion beyond the project. And so this space of Arise, as I can remind you, Arise is a program where we talk about issues or people who are doing something significant, people who are inspiring others, or people who are pursuing their dreams. And even though she's a background environmentalist, her career has nothing to do with this project, she has developed a passion and a commitment for this mission of bringing awareness about a topic that is really always forgotten or that is silenced in our community. So we're going to play a video that shares a little bit about her story and why the Unforgotten, and then we're going to bring her on the show so we can learn more about how you can be involved in this amazing initiative. So remember, this is Arise at motiveradio.com. You can join us live at motiveradio.com. You can join us live or through Facebook, and we are so grateful. Thank you, Lucas. And we're going to go over to Miss Kimberlee Klein. We're going to watch her video where she tells the story of why and how the Unforgotten started.
Hello, my name is Kimberlee, and I'm from the Unforgotten Ones. I'm just going to take a little bit of time and share my story around why this vision is really important to me to help people who've gone through pregnancy losses. Now, one of the biggest things for me is that this subject is so very much taboo, and I look back to in my own family, and I look at my dad, and my dad's mother had 4 miscarriages, and then had one child that died after 3 days, and then had a child that died after 4 years of leukemia. And then he came into that world where there's just 100% grief and there's no support, and it's just this insane bumble of trying to be a parent and trying not to make your child die, essentially. That's kind of the reality of what was happening. And I know that conversation was continuous in his upbringing. And there's nothing that anyone could do, but no one was really even talking about it as well. In his community, with his friends, no one could really say anything. They just kind of let it go and said, oh, they're just going to deal with it within their family. The family has problems. So one of the things that has really bothered me is that it's been 70 years. This stuff happened in like 1930s and 1940s. All these pregnancy losses happened, and back then there was no support. And now we look at now, and the support system is barely there. I look at pro-life, I look at pro-choice, and honestly, I was on one of those. I was on those sides, going, okay, what are we going to do for these people? And it turns out the amount of support that's actually created after a pregnancy loss is minimal. There's barely anything out there. There may be a controversy about if it's a baby or not, and then there's nothing. If you decided that you're going to abort a child, there's no support for you. There's good job. Not good job, sorry, but there's a understanding like you made a choice and it's your right. But really, there's some stuff that happens afterwards. There's all this stuff that comes up, no matter you're on a path to be a mother, and then that was stopped in all these situations. And to me, that really affects the world we live in. Since I've actually come to this conclusion that I want to help people who've gone through pregnancy losses, I've talked about it to so many of my friends, so many of my relatives, and they also share that they've also been through pregnancy losses. Like, it's something that people don't share with me unless I bring it up first. And I honestly want there to be a dialogue in our society. I want there to be this amazing contribution that we can have to these people who've gone through pregnancy losses. The reality of it is that 1 in 4 pregnancies end in abortion, and 1 in 5 end in a miscarriage. If you add those up, that's 45% of all pregnant women end in a loss. And we're looking at this going, I don't know what your reaction is at home right now, but to me, that's crazy that we can't talk about that. I can't even allow the next generation to feel and experience all this loss and not do something so we can create a safe space for them to speak about it. It doesn't even make sense. So I'm just really, it's so prominent in our society that we need to do something about it. We need to create that safe space. We need to make it so that people can be heard and understood in how it affects them. In our channel, we explore how siblings are affected, how parents are affected, how workplaces are affected. And it's really bringing it home to you to understand that there's a huge need here. There's a need for healing facilitators. There's a need for doctors and nurses to get more training around this specific issue. There's a huge call out for just even being in the space just to learn some of these tools and create new tools so that we can talk about pregnancy losses in the workplace or in our community. So that's kind of my heart on the whole subject, and I just wanted to share that this is where my passion's coming from in this vision. It does affect my family, it does affect my friends, it does affect everybody I know. There's nobody left behind in this vision. And I'd like to invite you guys to start supporting these people and call that out to you guys and see what we can create together, because that's what we're all in it here. We're all in it together. So thank you so much for watching The Unforgotten Ones, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye.
Wow, it was so impactful to watch that video. I cannot believe that 45% of women who are pregnant experience a loss. So that's what caught my attention, because it's something that we don't really talk about. But without further ado, I would love to introduce you the expert on the matter, the person who has a passion and bringing awareness about this issue. And I think that awareness is everything, is where we start to take action. And once we are aware of something, we can make a difference. So without further ado, all the way from Vancouver, Canada, we have Miss Kimberlee Klein on the call.
Thank you, Odile.
Did I pronounce it correctly?
It's Kimberlee Klein.
Yeah, Klein. Okay, so I did say it right. Okay. Well, Miss Kimberlee, welcome to Arise. First of all, thank you for sharing your passion with us. I would love to hear from you. How did you start on this journey with the Unforgotten Ones?
So I kind of came to the vision probably about 6 years ago, and I was looking for all these different leadership tools to actually propel me forward in this vision. And eventually I got to this course called Landmark Forum. And this program kind of actually had a portion in it called the Self-Expression and Leadership Program, where you actually have to take something to the community and produce something that will actually impact the community. And I knew that this was already my passion, so I was able to actually take this course as a launching point for my life to start the talk show. It teaches, the course taught me how to get community involved and how to enroll people into the project, so it wasn't always on me. So instead of me trying to figure out how to be a film editor and a producer and everything like that, it was like calling on producers and editors to come step up and step forward in a community project to be part of this vision. So it's been a very impactful program, and now it's kind of launched itself. So it's been amazing.
That's amazing. So it all started with the Landmark Forum and then the leadership expression, correct?
Correct, yes.
That's great. Sure. So you found a passion within. And when did you actually start the whole channel, the Unforgotten Project? When was it launched officially?
So we started filming in October, just this last year in October, and we just launched probably about 2 months ago. So, and we're releasing videos weekly.
Wow.
And
so we can follow your stories. I think Mr. Lucas is going to be putting the names so you can see Kimberlee Klein from the Unforgotten Ones. How many stories have you captured so far? What was the beginning of capturing stories? Was it easy to find people who wanted to openly share? And how many stories have you captured so far?
So originally I just went to all my friends because there's so many people in my life that just when I started talking about the project, they're just like, okay, I want to help. How can I contribute? And I was like, if you can share your story, that would be amazing. And it's been friends and people that I've known over the years. And so far, it's been probably 7 or 8 of them have been just personal friends of mine. And then from there, I've also connected to a group called In Our Hearts, and it's a group that of people who get together to talk about their pregnancy loss, and it's like a support group. And it was also started in Landmark Forum with another leader. And so now I'm starting to organically get those some of those people involved as well. So it's they're just kind of coming out of the woodworks, just organically. And, wow. We film once a month, and we try to do 4 episodes. So we typically get 2 guests per time. So far we've captured about 20 stories. Wow,
20 stories since October, and I can imagine that it's going to keep growing. What's the underlying theme that we're hearing with these stories?
So the underlying theme is that we've got a lot of people sharing what helped them in their support through the loss. So we're understanding that we actually had our first man on the show. And the impact that it had on him, and how much he's forgotten in everything. And that was a huge impact show. I was just like, oh my God, I'm so glad you're talking. It's just this opens up a whole nother world of what's going on in the real world, really, and how much we're not talking about anything. And he literally works at a camp full of men, and he was supposed to come back with a baby, he left for maternity leave type thing, or paternity leave, and came back, and he had no baby. And then literally the whole camp opened up and was just like, we've had pregnancy losses, and people were crying, and it was just these guys that work at a camp that's all burly men, and it started this whole conversation in that area, 100 men or whatever, just sharing their stories, and it's just insane. That's
awesome. So we're starting dialogue in an area that we're usually not used to talking about. That's amazing. And in your channel, you have a radio show, a YouTube channel, and you also have a Facebook page, right?
Yes, I do. Yes.
So if you put Mr. Lucas, will put the label again, but you can follow the Unforgotten Ones. And what I love is that so far you already have I saw 10 videos already on there, right? So you've been publishing for the last two months. And what I love about it is that there's one video in particular that caught my attention, which was called "Steps to Start Healing." So what's some of the vision and mission of the program that you have so far?
So this whole program, I've recognized that there's no healing from home. There's nothing out there to help people who are just starting on this journey or haven't even haven't had the courage, haven't dealt with working on themselves to start their healing journey. So in each video or in each interview, the idea is that the participant gets an interview and then a healing session.
Oh,
and
great.
The intention of every single video we produce, we are putting healing from we're expecting the same healing from home for the people who are watching. So we're putting the intention that everything that we are doing healing work here, in my own, my home is actually my studio. So I created a home studio, and basically people from home are going to get healed as well.
Awesome.
And that's the big
so the idea that it becomes an interactive virtual community that can also heal through the program as well.
Exactly. Yes.
That's great. That's great. And I heard that you're going to be interviewed on your local newspaper.
Yes. So I got some media attention around. It's called The West Ender, and I'll see if I can send you guys a link to that. It's going to be released on the 6th, so in a couple of days, 6th of April. And they're going to open up the story of the Unforgotten Ones and how it's a community project and how it's come together, and how people can actually get more involved, even in Vancouver, where I'm from. Because I do need participants for the show. I do need, I want to start a whole community project on this, just on building a website for healers to connect with participants so that they can, for people who've gone through pregnancy losses. I want to create a whole movement here. So it's not just this is a show and this is the end of it all.
Right.
This is the beginning of a conversation, and we need a lot more people involved. So
for everyone who's watching us, the link is the Unforgotten Ones. And if you have experienced a loss, or you know someone who has experienced a loss, you can definitely contact Miss Kimberlee Klein. She has her own Facebook. You can follow her through that, or you can write to us at arise.com. We're going to have, again, Mr. Lucas, if we can have the logo again, you can follow her. It's called the Unforgotten Ones. I love your logo. It's absolutely beautiful. I love how that has the little ribbon on the finger, kind of remembering the lost. And one of the things that I wanted to ask you is, Miss Kimberlee, how can people get involved?
So we're going to be starting, honestly, I don't have a complete answer for that yet, but basically I'm calling out to create leaders in this. So I know you're based in Texas. I know this can be shown everywhere. I really want to create, you can even actually, maybe I just say on my Facebook page, I'll send you the Unforgotten Ones Facebook page, and we're just going to start a community dialogue and then start seeing what we can create in our own communities.
That's
so
great.
We'll start there.
Well, one thing that I saw as I was preparing for this program, James Otis, they met at a reality show. She had a miscarriage in October. I don't know if you saw that. She put a picture of her unborn child on Instagram with her and her boyfriend, and it's really it was captivating, and she was trying to raise awareness, and she said the same thing, that 1 out of 4 parents loses a child and has an unborn child. So there's a big movement. More people are speaking about it. I've seen a lot of friends on Facebook who little by little they're sharing their own journey. So that's what your program is about and your project is about. I congratulate you for this initiative, especially for someone who hasn't really experienced it themselves. I think it's even great when you provide voice for those who are going through the process. I think that's amazing. So if you want to get involved, you can definitely follow the Unforgotten Ones on Facebook. I'm going to be posting on it. Is there anything else that you want to share as you have been going through this journey since October? Is there a message, an underlying message of things that people should not say and things that people should say to people who have lost a child?
Well, first, I just want to put out there to the people who have lost children, whether through any type of pregnancy loss, from miscarriages to abortions, is, first of all, I'm so sorry for your loss, and also that you're not alone in this. This is not a journey you need to do alone, and we are. Yeah, I can't. My heart goes out to you too, and we're basically, I want to create, like, I have so much passion here that I'm just like, what do you want to say about this? But yeah, there's so much to talk about in this. Please follow the channel. Please get involved in as much as you can. Just sharing your story with others does help open up the issue, and share that you've lost someone. Like, there's a whole grieving process that you need to go through, and it's time. There's no time like now. And the intention of this whole project and initiative is to empower you in the long run. Like, you have to go through some grieving, and pills don't do the work. It's us. We can support you, and there's a way through this, and we need to go through it. So I really want to encourage you to take the steps to start from home, start looking at the channel, start getting a little bit of healing in there. The steps to start the healing journey, start with that video, just because it does call on your higher energy, your higher self to help you through the journey. And that's a very powerful way of starting, so that you're not doing this by yourself.
Great.
That's what I like to share. Yeah.
Well, that's a great way to segment. Thank you so much for your passion and your commitment. Again, the Miss Kimberlee Klein from the Unforgotten Ones. One of the things that I want to recommend for those of you who have someone who's lost a child is to be authentic and to let them know that you don't have the right words, but that you are with them in the process. I think that's the main thing, that you are real and that you stay in touch. And sometimes you don't have to have the right words. Just being part of the process it's what it's all about. So thank you so much, Miss Kimberlee Klein. We're going to be sharing more of your videos next week. We'll see another video from Miss Kimberlee Klein. And remember that the most important thing about arising from within is to finding your voice inside. Find that subject that motivates you, that little voice inside of you that wants to speak out. And the more you wake up and you wake up yourself from the inner voice, that's how you're going to find projects that are totally different, because your background, Miss Klein, is an environment, right? Or landscaping.
Yeah. Forestry. And then now I actually work for the city of Vancouver as an inspector of like road management, and a completely different field, but I know this is where I want to go in my life. So I'm just kind of taking the plunge and taking the steps to make this my reality.
That's great. And that's what it's all about. When you're starting a project or passion, you could be in something totally different, but it's important that you listen to your inner voice, and that it's not the process, it's the destiny where you're going. And sometimes you're going to have little derails, and you're going to have days that you probably are like, what am I doing in this subject, right? But now you're finding more voices, more people who are connecting, and it's coming together, right?
Yes, and I'm recognizing that you don't have to be the expert. If you can hold space for this to be facilitated, like if you could be the facilitator where you bring people together, that is enough for the whole conversation to happen.
That's great. That's great. So, and as you said in the videos, we need facilitators, nurses, and doctors to be trained so that they know how to provide the support to those who've lost. We also need more tools on the matter. And like you just said, you don't have to be the expert. Sometimes we feel like we have to have all the answers, or the roadmap all laid out. But maybe that's not what you need. You just need to have a compassion and open the space for dialogue. I'm leaving with the image of the man who opened up in the camp, who just who started a whole dialogue, and their families. It's not only women, it's families who are affected, children, as you said, siblings. So thank you for doing that. And remember, you can follow the Unforgotten Ones. If you want to share your story with them, make sure you connect with Miss Kimberlee Klein. So this is the episode for today. Remember, this is Arise. My name is Odile Perez. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back telling you what we're going to be seeing next week. Thank you so much, Miss Klein, and thank you for joining us today.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for having me on the show, Odile. I really appreciate you getting the word out about this mission that I'm on. That's amazing.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. So
okay, bye.
Bye. So for everyone watching us, we're going to take a 10-second break, or 1 minute break, and then we'll be back to wrap up the show. Well, we're back with Arise. We want to thank everyone who's part of this production, Lucas, Miss Blanca, our ambassador, Miss Blanca Saturas, for giving us a space, Mr. John Saturas, our crown ambassador, that opened this space for dialogue, for motivation, passion, and energy. And everyone who's part of this building, thank you for contributing to this space. I'm so excited to be part of this program, this space, this building, because we're creating great things. So my name is Odile Arisel Perez, and when I want to invite you that next week, we're going to continue this conversation about the Unforgotten Ones, and we're looking forward to having really amazing stories on the show. We're going to be having people who are dedicating themselves to traveling. We're going to have, like we had last week, we had stylists who pursue her passion in New York, and now she's in the event Hispanics 17 in Miami, Florida. We're going to have someone who is a plus size fashion model and her journey to becoming a plus size model. And we're going to have people who are dedicated to Instagram and social media. And the idea is that we create a space where we are celebrating other people's success. The idea of success is to celebrate others so that we also get inspired to arise from within. And that's the idea of this show. We're going to be meeting every Tuesday from 4 o'clock to 5 p.m. Some shows will be 30 minutes. Some shows will be bilingual. And that's what's going to keep you captivated, because we're going to keep things different. So with that, I hope you have enjoyed and you learned something today, that people out there are needing someone to talk to. If you know someone who has lost a child, who had a miscarriage, just let them know that you care and that they're not alone. Connect them with different resources. There's another website that I found, which is called parents.com. There's a lot of resources there to help people go through the process. But again, the show today was with Miss Kimberlee Klein, and her project is called The Unforgotten Ones, so that we always remember those people who left a little bit earlier than expected. So with that, I hope you have enjoyed this show and that you have been able to inspire yourself from within so that you can also arise. With that, my name is Odile Perez. Thank you, Lucas, for always being the best. And everyone on the show, thank you. And remember, it's always possible to arise from within. Have a great day, everyone.